A new drive to help street children. The Prime Minister pledges his support. Hello, there's fresh hope for the world's street children with the launch of a new group dedicated to ending their plight. Last night, John Major held a special reception at 10 Downing Street to mark his support for the Consortium for Street Children. Young people who live on the streets are found all over the world, but the problem is particularly bad in countries like Brazil in South America.
Alison English-Jones.
Around 30 different British-based organisations, including lots of children's charities, have joined together to form the consortium.
His Holiness Chanda Swami.
They hope by forming themselves into one big group, they'll have more power to persuade the world to help.
Nina Kapau.
Among last night's guests were two Brazilians who used to live on the streets. Marcelo Santos and Ronilson Gomez now work for the children's charity that helped them. The Prime Minister was spurred on to help street children after visiting Brazil. He says they deserve special attention.
The vast majority of children, particularly in Western Europe, come from loving families. They have a degree of security. These street children have nothing. They have no families. They have no hope. The way in which they earn their living is very precarious. The life expectancy of many of them is very short. They have no one really protecting them in the way that most children become accustomed to. I think that puts them in a different category.
Why is it important to help street children when some people might say we've got enough problems of our own?
Well, I think we British have a very large heart. We have problems in this country, but they're not remotely comparable to the problems in many countries in Latin America. And any problems we might find in this country or anywhere else in Western Europe just pale into insignificance compared to the daunting problems faced by these children.
There are thought to be around 30 million children around the world who live on the streets. Millions more use the streets to earn money to survive because their families are too poor to support them. In countries like Brazil, the children are often the victims of death squads, killed by people with a twisted idea of how to solve the problem. When John Major visited Brazil's capital, Rio de Janeiro, last year, he saw the problem for himself. But he was also shown how the charities can help. Progetto Axe, which Marcelo and Ronilson now work with, has helped around 3,000 children leave the streets. It's now hoped the new Consortium for Street Children will lead to many more of them around the world getting a secure and happy future.